Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 278 of your favourite Formula 1 show. Yes, Knowing Wheel is back, and finally we get to properly talk about some 2026 cars. Or do we? Obviously, I'm joined, as always, by Jamie183. First of all, how are we doing, sir?
Doing well, yes. Getting on towards a new season. I think we're over halfway through the winter break now, which feels to me like it's gone really quickly. I don't know about you.
Well, apparently well, I think it's something mad, like there's 47 days now until the new season, and I think it's like 24 of those days there is something going on F1 related. Yeah. So we are getting there. We're going to have stuff to talk about again. Winter slop is almost over.
How many times have you told that Kimi Räikkönen story about Lotus?
Only the once. I've only done it once.
Yeah. Go give him some more hate comments for that. I saw those.
No, people love it. It's a meme. It's a whole meme. It's great. Because I don't do it. I did it ironically, so it was fine.
Right.
People could tell I didn't believe. Well, obviously I believe in it. It's true. It's what happened.
Yeah, it's what happened. But exactly. It's also the one winter story that comes out every year.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. But we do have some interesting stuff to talk about, Jamie. Of course, as of literally 3 o'clock this morning. Which, before we get into anything else, is a stupid time to do an F1 livery review. For our European
what time was it in Detroit?
Mind. I would assume about 9 p.m.
That's
I would assume time. Detroit is about 9. Is it though? Because most of them do it in the morning.
But if they're going to make it a showpiece and a bit of a thing, you want to do that in the evening, don't you? Especially on a random
10
Thursday.
p.m. 10 p.m. So that's quite late.
That's a little bit
night.
late, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not normal. Well, I'm normally going to sleep at like just gone 10 p.m. So
I'm usually watching The Traitors. So.
Oh, I'm not watching the normal one. Do not care. Do not care.
It's
anyway, I mean, do you watch much of the kind of promo or anything, Jamie? Because it's normally like most of them nowadays are an hour of waffle. I'm like,
it's an advert,
vision for the future and Ford Performance Technologies and what's we all going to be doing.
What I did is go to bed and sleep, and then I woke up this morning and saw some pictures of it, and here we are.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Obviously, we've got the Red Bull and the VCARB to talk about today. Of course, they kind of... I understand they're obviously trying to tie them in together. New engine this year, obviously Ford as well, coming on board. So it is an exciting time to be, a Red Bull supporter or a Red Bull fan, as you are yourself, sir. So I'm going to kind of let you lead a lot of the conversation in that regard. But obviously one of the other big talking points as we enter this new season, of course, is their new lineup as well. So there is quite a lot of hype around Red Bull, but the last time we had a big engine and chassis reg cycle, it took them arguably 7 years. It kind of took them a couple to get back to a decent position, didn't it? But 7 years before they got back to the form they were at the year before of winning championships.
Yeah, you're referring to 2014, right?
Yes.
Because that was... Yeah. Obviously, the engine regs have effectively been frozen since then. With a bit of development early on.
Yeah. Same
certainly
engine
have been
formula.
frozen since 2020, haven't they, or 2019? So
21.
Yeah. So it's been a long time since new engine regs. Thankfully, as a Max Verstappen fan as I am, the talk of the street in the paddock seems to be that Mercedes and Red Bull powertrains have done a pretty good job compared to the others in terms of, obviously, Audi are a bit of an unknown quantity. Ferrari are the ones that sound like they're really behind the curve. And Honda are a bit of an unknown quantity as well because they've not made an engine from scratch since 2019, something like that, when they were obviously with Red Bull and Toro Rosso back then. So I am quietly confident, I guess I'm loudly confident now, really. But
you've said it on the internet, Jamie. It's locked in forever.
I don't think they're going in as favourites necessarily, because obviously the car that was dominant last year does have a Mercedes power unit. So I know it's a whole new cycle, but winners tend to be someone at the top again. So I think McLaren are going to be good. I think Mercedes are going to be good with George Russell especially. And Max will be right there, I think. Because
he's
if the
saying
Red Bulls,
it, is he? Fascinating.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I know that it generally spreads the field out on a reg change, but I don't want to say until testing whether he's going to be battling for the championship.
Well, you
but
just
I certainly think he'll get a handful of race wins.
Fair enough. Oh, he's saying it. He's coming out the gates confident then. I like it. I rate it. I mean, let's talk about the livery first of all, Jamie. They've gone back glossy. It actually looks, even as someone that isn't a Red Bull fan, especially front on obviously all the pictures that they posted. Now, first of all, this is not the actual car. It's a little bit confusing because the digital renders they've done are of a different car to the show car that was there, but even the digital renders aren't going to be the real car. But there are a few interesting kind of points that it's interesting to kind of see where it differs from like the generic baseline car that's obviously the FOM have posted out for years and things like that about what the new regs should look like. So there are obviously again another team isn't going to be looking at this and going, oh, actually we can steal that idea because Red Bull will be way further down the road on any ideas that are showcased. But even the car does look quite good.
Yeah, I really like it, and you can just tell that it looks more aggressive in terms of it's a bit more narrow. The wings are more aggressive.
It does look less heavy, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's because it is. I get like the cars are a fair amount
30 kilos
shorter.
lighter, I want to say.
Yeah. So I'm. It gets me excited for the season because I think we might get some slightly better racing because, as you said, the ground effect era didn't deliver. I mean, it kind of it was hard. The ground effect
it's
era.
Just people's standards of what racing should be like now is so high for Formula One, isn't it? It was just the fact that a lot of it was DRS passes, but that was always going to be the case.
Yeah, otherwise you get no passes. So I understand why we need DRS, and we've got obviously not got DRS anymore. So we've got overtake mode, whatever it's called. Yeah, I really like the livery. I think it's a good throwback to the Seb Vettel era of 2010 to 2014. It really is a throwback to 2014 all round, really, because obviously they've got the light blue, they've got the white outline on the Red Bull logos and writing, and of course you've got number 3 on the side.
Yeah, that was weird to look at first time around. I was like, why did they put Ricciardo's number on there? And then obviously remembered what was going on, which was quite interesting. But I mean, the car does look really cool. VCARB as well, Jamie. We're going to talk about them at the same time. We're going to talk about them afterwards. VCARB as well looks fantastic. Apart from the wheel rims, they look hideous. Which is a huge shame. But once again, the white V-carbs is just an absolutely banging livery at the moment. And again, with the yellow front end, everything like that, they do look really, really cool. I think I'd still probably would argue the V-carb was probably my favourite livery, like standard livery of last year. So happy that they've kind of kept that going as well. And obviously both cars with some Ford logos on it. Obviously the blue on the Red Bull, I'm pretty certain is Ford blue.
It is, yeah.
So
it used to be
obviously nicely.
Back in the day, it was Infinity, which was a Renault subsidiary back when they were powered by Renault. So that's why they binned it off as soon as they could.
It was actually technically a Nissan subsidiary, but obviously Nissan and Renault were tied together.
Oh well, thank you for that.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, Infinity and Red Bull weren't particularly good friends, especially not with Christian Horner. But obviously he's not here anymore. So welcome back, Blue. It took 1 year, 6 months of Laurent Mekies' leadership.
Yeah, and we've got a better looking car than we've had for probably the last 10 years. Of all the kind of standard Red Bulls as well, which is wonderful, wonderful news. I mean, yeah, you briefly touched on it there, of course, Jamie. You think Verstappen's going to be winning races this year? Obviously, I think it's still considered up and down the grid, isn't it? That if any driver is going to move teams for 2027. All eyes are on the Dutchman still, aren't they? Max Verstappen, arguably Charles Leclerc, but we'll talk about that, of course, when Ferrari do a bit of a reveal at some point soon. What would be... Apparently, Max has still got something in a clause in his contract that states if he's outside the top 2 by the summer break. What would be considered disappointing for Red Bull then this year?
Well, if they lose Max, then he's their best asset at the moment, I think. So... if they're in a position where he is forced to leave Red Bull to go and get a car that's going to win races and championships, that would be a big shame for Red Bull as a team. Because, they're not going to... whoever they replace with Max Verstappen won't be as good. And if they do their thing of promoting from within, and they end up with a Hadjar and Lindblad in lineup, for instance, that is considerably a step down from what they've got at the moment with Max Verstappen. So... yeah, it is interesting to see. As we've kind of said maybe a year ago now, but when everyone was sorting out their contracts and their drivers for 2025 and 6, the clever thing to do was to get your driver, as a driver, the clever thing to do was get your contract expiring, or at least able to exit at the end of 26 for 27, so that you give your current team a shot
as well. Because if you made a huge leap forward, you can suddenly have a bit more of the pick of the bunch.
Yeah, let's say Alpine are like third fastest, and they want better drivers. They can get Gasly and Verstappen even.
Well, yeah, no one wanted the Alpine last year.
Exactly. So obviously Max is in that situation. I think, did Russell sign a multi-year, or was it? I think it was a one. No, it was multi.
I think Russell's to the end of 27. I want to say.
Yeah, I think Leclerc's obviously tied down for a bit longer, but then contracts are worth the paper they're written on, really. So if you really want to leave, you can usually. Obviously, Max is the biggest piece in the jigsaw, I think, in terms of drivers for 27, because if he becomes available, I think every team but McLaren would be interested. Obviously, some of them are more reasonably interested than others.
Depending on performance-wise, isn't it? Yeah, exactly.
He's not going to go to Cadillac. I'll put that one out there.
He's not going to go up alongside Perez in a car built for Checo. Shocking.
That'd be so funny, actually.
goes to Sergio Perez's new team, wipes the floor with him.
That would be a big shame for Checo.
In terms, though, like we said, obviously losing Verstappen would be considered an utter failure for Red Bull. I think the other really, really fascinating thing is probably for the first time since 2007, I want to say, this car is not really going to have any Adrian Newey DNA in it. And that is a big, big thing that I don't feel is getting talked about enough.
Yeah, and obviously he is a bit of a wizard, but to be fair, he has worked obviously within Red Bull for 20 years odd. So you get the feeling, obviously he's a genius and his brain works in special ways, but you feel like that expertise won't just go missing overnight. So maybe it's rubbed off on a team. Obviously Pierre Vacher is also incredibly clever, and there's plenty of very intelligent engineers and designers at Red Bull still. So while they'd be better off having Newey, I don't think they'll have forgotten everything he taught them. I think it'll be more of a long-term, like in 3 years' time when, there probably is next to no expertise left and they're in a whole, like post-Newey era. I think then you'll start seeing it really, potentially, if it's going to tank, it will tank then.
Yeah, I mean, this is something we've talked about before, isn't it? Of kind of, are we still watching the Red Bull downfall? That we've kind of been talking about, basically since the highest of highs, that absolutely ridiculous 2023 campaign.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like from even during that season, the dominoes started to fall just a little bit. Especially kind of.
I feel like we might. Do you not think though we might have already gone through the lowest point of that around like?
Possibly. We don't. Obviously, hindsight is a beautiful thing. We might look back at this. We might do a podcast 5 years from now if we're still doing it. To be fair, we're already 5 years in. It could be possible.
I
know. And we might be going, that was, Max missing out narrowly on that championship. Had Red Bull got their act together earlier and given him a car that was more capable through kind of that middle stretch, he would have won 5 straight, won another 2 with the next generation of cars because he got close again. Or we could be going, we talked about at the start of 2026 about this new regs. Red Bull finished 7th that year, and they've never been the same again. But this is the point that we don't know for sure, do we? This is the bizarre thing. It could go to either extreme. It just could. No one would have predicted going into 2014 that they were going to be behind Williams.
They weren't. They finished second in the championship in 2014.
But they were on raw pace. They were slower than Williams that year. It was just Williams. No, in terms of raw qualifying performance, I'm pretty certain they were a tiny fraction behind Williams. Williams just bottled jobs.
Possibly. But yeah, they had better drivers. Obviously, Ricciardo and Vettel was a pretty good lineup back then. Yeah, I just think the absolute worst it can get in terms of, you're saying maybe 7th place in the constructors. I don't see them finishing below 4th, really.
But again, it's that whole thing, though, isn't it? Of, and I don't want to be kind of going, Red Bull are going to finish 7th this year or anything like that, because I'm not saying it's guaranteed or likely to happen, but I'm also not saying it's not impossible. They could have an absolute stinker. They could have terrible reliability. And
it massively spins the order. So in 2014, Ferrari finished, I think they finished 4th in the end in constructors, but they really should have finished behind your Force India. And
McLaren potentially.
Yeah, the Mercedes power unit was just so overpowered that.
Well, this is my point. If the Mercedes engine is so OP, and obviously we are going back into more of an engine-based regulation for a while, if the Mercedes engine is so OP, it could be that Red Bull are confined to a P5 finish at best, because you've got 4 teams suddenly.
You have. I back Red Bull to make up the difference to Alpine in their aerodynamics, to be honest.
You'd hope so. You would really hope so. But again, without age, I get it's just the whole thing of I'm not saying it's likely, but it could happen.
I don't think so. I wouldn't put that on Red Bull finishing outside the top 4.
Jamie, when are you off to Egypt?
Egypt?
Yeah.
Oh, because I'm in denial. Brilliant.
Yes.
I was like, what's Egypt got to do anything? Yeah, I don't know. I'm still pretty confident that they'll probably finish within the top 3 in the constructors.
Okay.
Because I think McLaren, Mercedes, and Red Bull will be like the fastest 3 teams. So that's my take on the 2026 season. We shall see if that comes to fruition.
Yeah, we'll see if Jamie still backs that in a few weeks.
Williams could easily be P4, by the way.
Yeah, they could be higher than that. We don't know. This is the thing. We just don't know.
Do you think Williams are beating Mercedes or McLaren though? Even if the Mercedes engine's OP.
They beat McLaren in 2014.
Yeah, 12 years ago.
Yeah, and I would argue Williams are in a better place now than they were then.
And McLaren are too.
Well, yeah, that's also true. I mean, McLaren had come off... Yeah, I suppose they'd had a couple of bad years as well, hadn't they? It's kind of weird, isn't it? If you like tracked them, McLaren kind of fell off hard. Well, actually, they didn't fall off harder, but they fell off later, and then kind of recovered slightly earlier. But they've almost followed like a similar trajectory, just Williams are always a bit behind.
Yeah, and in all that time, Ferrari have always finished 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, Ferrari just always slightly worse than the best, pretty much forever, which is painful. As obviously now a Ferrari fan, sadly.
Yeah, you have
VCARB as well then, Jamie. Obviously, we don't want to completely forget about them. Obviously, we already spoke about the livery briefly. Lawson going up against Lindblad. We spoke about this on last week's episode. Obviously, drivers under pressure as we head into this season. VCARB generally are a team that usually get a little bit screwed over when it comes to new regs, because ultimately Red Bull haven't been able to perfect their parts yet, and VCARB often either end up in trouble or accidentally doing as well as Red Bull. The thing is, it's always bizarre, isn't it? Because we always say VCARB are the only team in Formula 1 not designed to win, which is strange in of itself.
Yeah,
they could end up last.
Aren't they? They could. They definitely could. I think since they stopped being Toro Rosso, which was when was that? 2019.
Earlier than that, wasn't it? I think.
Were they?
I want to say 2017 end of.
No, I think Kvyat got a podium for Toro Rosso in 19, and then it became AlphaTauri.
No, because they were. I think. When did AlphaTauri? Well, you might be right, actually. Maybe
I think I'm right. Gasly got a podium.
2020 through 2023. Fair play.
There you go. I think since they became AlphaTauri, and obviously since they've been VCARB, they've developed more into like sister teams rather than like senior and junior. And obviously
that is
the Red Bull
partly down to just how much value has been pumped into F1 as well, isn't it? Suddenly VCARB isn't just a testing ground anymore. It's somewhere you can legitimately make a big profit.
Well, and drivers can actually prove themselves really well in terms of they've won races, they've got podiums. Well, they've won a race, sorry, and 2 races, and they've got a podium.
Since they became AlphaTauri, they haven't. Have they?
They've won 1 race.
Oh yeah, I was going to say I was trying to work out where this magical race I forgot in the last 5 years.
Yeah, but with the regs change, obviously they function more now as their own entity. I think back when they first started, they just took all of Red Bull's parts because
everything they could. Yeah, but they have more recently, haven't they? Yeah, designed their own parts, even stuff they could take.
Yeah, and obviously a much smaller team than Red Bull, so I think they won't. If left to their own devices, they won't make a car as fast as the Red Bull. Although they have done in the past on occasion. 2015, obviously, they were pretty similar. Arguably,
Red Bull
the first
had a
half of last year.
in 2015.
The first half of last year, they weren't too far apart either.
I get it'd be so fascinating to see what Max could have done in that VCARB. It would have been so fascinating.
Was it Hungary where it was Lawson qualified the head of all
Lawson
of the
qualified
cars,
higher than the rest of them, which is quite impressive.
And at Austria. So yeah, I don't know. But VCARB probably won't be troubling the top 5 in many races.
VCARB will most likely take a step backwards, won't they? It's just what happens.
You'd imagine so. They finished 7th last year, I want to say, in the championship.
Yeah,
6th?
I think so.
No, Haas was 6th in the end, weren't they? And VCARB 7th.
Where am I going?
I think that was right. But anyway, yeah, I feel like optimistically
6th. They beat out Aston and Haas.
6th place. That must be a record.
Yeah, they just beat out Aston Martin by 3 points in the end, didn't they? Mad.
Aston really should be beating them.
Yeah.
Haas are a bit of an unknown. I think Audi should be beating them.
Well, Haas are in a bit of a similar spot to VCARB, really, aren't they? They're kind of at the whim of what their bigger team does to a certain degree.
Exactly.
Audi
and I would
could
feel
beat
like
them. Not saying it's guaranteed, but they could.
Alpine will take a step up as well.
They should do. They really. If Alpine don't take a step up with Mercedes, unless the Mercedes engine is woeful, then I think that team, it won't be long before it gets sold off.
Oh yeah. It could be the best bit of business for them as a team to have got these Mercedes power units on for a long term, because then suddenly the value's gone up. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about that huge cost either. At
best, you're looking at P8 in the championship this year out of 11. So
fascinating
for VCARB, because they're not designed to win.
No, I hope you're writing all these down, so when you do your predictions in a few weeks,
I have to put certain teams in certain places.
You're being very, very committed. I like it, but I'm staying very quiet and ambiguous about all of my predictions.
If you could put a range on where VCARB will finish, then where would it be? Because they're obviously not going to win the championship.
Through 11th.
They're not going to win the championship, are they?
No.
And they're not going to win races.
Probably not. No.
So why on earth would they be in the top 3 or 4 in the championship?
Well, exactly. It's...
So put your money where your mouth is and save some positions.
I'm not betting on this.
Well,
I'm going to say... the thing is, I'm probably going to go similar to you. I reckon sort of around 7th or 8th or 9th, maybe. Actually, I'm going to say 9th or 10th. I reckon they're going to do even worse than you reckon.
Right.
But then again, nice. I think Red Bull are going to do. I reckon Red Bull are going to do worse than you reckon as well.
And I think VCARB have already got the weakest lineup on the grid, which is normal for a junior team.
Yeah. And Red Bull are in a very lucky position if they don't have the weakest lineup, aren't they? Normally in VCARB, I should specify.
Yeah, exactly, because it is designed to blood young drivers, which are naturally less proven. So
yeah.
I'm excited for Arvid Lindblad though. Our only rookie of the season.
Yep. Although technically you could make the argument that Colapinto is still a rookie, because the actual definition of a rookie in F1 is competing in a first full-time season, and Colapinto still hasn't done that.
Still hasn't. He's as much of a rookie as Liam Lawson is last year.
Lawson's got more starts now, I believe, hasn't he? But yeah.
Well, Colapinto's got more starts now than Lawson did this time last year.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Well, Colapinto's had over a full season now, hasn't he?
Yeah. I think he would have done, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's got 25, 26 starts.
And no points. I know he got some points at Williams, to be fair.
He did get points at Williams, exactly.
What do you think of the livery?
Oh, what do I think of the livery? Oh, I already said on the
nice,
VCARB, didn't I? It looks good apart from the wheel rims. The wheel rims are the biggest.
No, I like it. It's good livery. Well done.
Big question then.
Okay.
Do we think we're going to see another Red Bull either in season or end of next season swap? Are the 4 drivers at Red Bull right now, come Abu Dhabi or after Abu Dhabi, going to be the same 4 drivers in the same 2 cars?
No. And I will justify that because you've got 2 ways to look at it. Either Max has left, which is plausible.
Yeah.
I think Hajar will stay where he is.
Okay.
I think Lindblad will stay where he is.
Okay.
And one of 2 things. Either Max is off because the Red Bull's terrible, or Lawson gets beaten by Lindblad and gets binned off, and then it's like Nicholas Solov or something.
Fascinating. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, how about you?
I reckon we could see a bit of stability in Red Bull now. I think Mekies is going to try and... Unless someone absolutely blows through F2 next year, which, honestly, looking at the F2 grid, I don't think is going to happen.
Pepe Marti is still a Red Bull driver, isn't he?
That's good to know, Jamie. Thank you. I think Red Bull, if they're going to go through, like I said, I reckon they're going to take a bit of a slip this year. I think Max will end up staying with the team, but I think they're going to try and aim for a bit of stability once again.
By the way, if they're outside the top 3 in the championship, Max is off. I'll make no bones about that.
Okay, interesting.
So if you're towing the line that Red Bull are going to be 5th, and you think Max is staying for 27,
I'm not definitely saying they're going to be 5th, but I reckon it's going to end up they're in a scenario where, say they're like the 4th best team, but Max can kind of make it look like they're 3rd best, and neither of the top 2 teams are interested.
Right.
But now I'm saying that, I'm thinking Mercedes is probably going to be one of those top 2 teams, and they would
absolutely
definitely
loves him. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Fair enough. Sit on the fence.
We'll talk about it. Exactly. Yeah. I'll stay planted on this.
This quiz you should do all right at.
Okay.
Because as we've been talking a lot about Red Bull, as we know, they've got a racetrack.
They do.
Which hosts Formula 1 races every now and then.
They do.
There are how many? There are 14 drivers who have stood on the podium at the Red Bull Ring since it's been the Red Bull Ring.
Say since 2014, I assume this is.
Yes. You've got to name all of them. If you've got one wrong, you're done.
Okay.
And there's no time limit.
Okay. So 2025 was Lando, Oscar, and Charles.
Correct.
Because that was like the one weekend of the year where, obviously, without Max there, it helped, but Ferrari were basically just comfortably number 2.
Yes. I haven't got it year by year. I've just got a list of names.
No, I know.
So if you keep doing this, I won't be able to verify you.
Okay. 2024, obviously, George won in the most hilarious race possible.
He did.
Who was on the podium with him, though? I'm just going to start throwing random guesses out there pretty soon, which is quite bad this early on. I've already said Charles, haven't I?
Yes, you've said 4 people so far.
I've said 5 people, 2 of those being Charles Leclerc.
Yes.
I don't know whether Sainz is at a podium at the Red Bull Ring, so I'm going to hold off on him for now, unless that's right, and then you can tell me. Hamilton, Rosberg, obviously have.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember, because obviously Williams got pole there in 2014. I'm trying to remember whether either of them held on for a podium in the end, or whether they just collapsed. So I don't know there.
They were 1-2 on the grid, actually, weren't they?
They were 1-2 on the grid, because Mercedes were really annoyed that they messed that up. Because they turned the engines down too much.
But Mercedes still got a 1-2 in the race. So.
Yeah. I don't know whether Ricciardo ever got... There 14 people got a podium there since 2014.
Yeah.
I got to start getting some of them, don't I? Vettel, Raikkonen.
Both correct, yeah.
Yeah. Bottas.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're doing well. You got 5 left.
Yeah. So I could guess like Massa, Sainz, those kind of guys, but I just don't know for sure.
I mean, you obviously know all of them, but
yeah, obviously.
Yeah. You should not have 5 left at this point.
Yeah, I should be able to get all of these. Trying to think who else could have done. Oh, Perez.
Correct.
Yeah. Four more.
There's one I'm going to laugh a lot about.
What if I don't get it?
Yeah.
Oh, I've said Max, haven't I?
No.
That would have been.
I was going to say, if you forget Max Verstappen after the whole podcast.
Max Verstappen.
3 left. You can do it. Yeah, I believe in you.
No, I'm not going to say Nico Hulkenberg. I'm trying to think, did Ricciardo ever get one there? Because Red Bull weren't that... I don't know.
I'm not giving anything away. Correct.
Oh, wonderful.
2017.
Yeah, because 2017 was going to be my only guess. So I got 2
you were
more
there,
to
weren't
get.
you?
Yeah, I was, wasn't I? Yeah. Forgot about that. I was just more gutted because Jody and Palmer lost out on a point quite late on.
Yeah,
that was what I was more focused on. Yeah. So I got 2 more.
2 left.
Okay.
One of them quite recent, and one of them not so recent.
Oh, Sainz.
Yes.
Yeah, and is the other Felipe?
Yes, it is.
Yes!
I was so hoping that you forgot to say Max Verstappen. That would have made my entire 2026.
Well, yeah, kind of. I did that the last couple of years when Max didn't get a podium, and then was like, I'm just gonna.
He won 5 in a row there, including Styrian races, didn't
he? Absolutely dominated for a few years. Shocking, disgusting.
Yeah, good job. And that's all the podium finishes at the Red Bull Ring.
Wonderful.
Shout out to 2016 qualifying with Hulkenberg and Button in the top 3, by the way.
Oh yeah, and then didn't Hulkenberg get a worse start?
Hulkenberg got an awful start. Button ran
it was down to like
14 laps. Yeah,
and then Button just hung on with that Honda. Incredible, Jamie. Have we got anything else to talk about, sir? I think obviously
when's the next cars coming out? I know nothing about this.
I think it's early next week. F1 car reveals. I want to say because I think we're going to be doing quite a few podcasts over the next few weeks, aren't we? So okay. I believe Haas is Monday. Audi and the Honda engine are Tuesday. Mercedes.
We're not doing a podcast
Thursday.
for a Honda engine.
No, we're not. Mercedes is Thursday, Ferrari and Alpine are Friday, and then we haven't got any in for another week or so, and then it's Williams. Cadillac doing a Super Bowl advert. And then
they've taken a week off for me to go skiing. That's very kind, actually.
That is very kind of them, exactly. So we might do one Monday or Tuesday then, I guess, for Audi.
Yeah, I guess so.
Haas. Wonderful. It kind of depends on what time they announce them, isn't it, as well? Like we said, we mentioned it last week, we're just going to play fast or loose with podcasts. There's probably going to be a few more, but slightly shorter ones over the next few weeks. But I'm looking forward to it, Jamie. I'm looking forward to getting back into F1 again. First time we've
F1 will be here before we know
huge race. Exactly. It's going to be exciting times ahead. So, yeah, obviously, if you're not already, please make sure you hit that sub button as well. We're closing in on, hit that sub button, hit that follow button. Last 212 was telling me, actually. I think it's on Spotify, I want to say. Forgive me for a second. Because I don't ever use Spotify for anything, so I don't really know.
I use Spotify quite a lot.
We've got a 4.8 star rating, so thank you, everybody.
120 reviews. That's
120 reviews.
If you're listening on Spotify right now, give us a 5-star rating and boost that up.
I'm worried that I've mentioned that now, and we're going to get absolutely review tanked or something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame him.
But
after
I would.
Named 10 drivers before Max Verstappen in the quiz.
Now, you've said much worse on this podcast, and behind the scenes, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen. He's a controversial character in the background.
Off the record, so they will never see the light of day.
Jamie, as always, it's been a pleasure. I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
You too.
Hopefully I'll speak to you either Monday or Tuesday. I'm sure we'll work it out. We can do our personal admin behind the scenes.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you all, as always, so much for listening. And we'll be back very soon. Let us know in the comments where you think Red Bull and VCARB are going to be next season. This season, I guess. But yeah, we'll be back very soon with more Formula 1.